If it's a little flat or a little sharp, it's unpleasant. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey fiddlers, welcome to today's fiddle lesson video. Today we are learning a jig called Off She Goes, which is a very old tune and a very fun tune. And I've been playing it for a very long time. If you would like sheet music and practice tracks for this tune, as well as the variation that I'm going to teach in today's video, you can get those at one of the links in the description. All right, let's go ahead and learn the tune. For starters, let's figure out what key we're in so that we know where our left hand fingers are gonna go. We are in the good old key of D major, so let's play a D major scale starting with your open D. It's gonna go D, 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3. And then on the E string, we're gonna have a few notes there too. We're gonna go E, 1, low 2, 3, and yeah, we're gonna actually have to play our fourth finger sometimes, but not too much. All right, so we've got our key signature. Let's figure out our time signature. This is a jig and we're gonna be in 6/8 time, which means 6 eighth notes per measure. And jigs have this feeling of kind of 2 beats per measure. So it's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've got our key signature, we've got our time signature. Let's learn the tune. As I usually do, I'm going to be teaching this tune by call and response, so I'll play a little section of the tune and then I'll play it a few times so you can try and play along. Feel free to pause the video while you give it a shot, and of course you can always rewind if you don't get it after the first few times. This tune has an A part, which is the first half of the tune, a B part, which is the second half of the tune. We play both of them twice, so let's start out with our A part. The first phrase of the A part starts with your second finger on the D string, and it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. The finger numbers for that phrase, starting with your second finger on the D string, it'll go 2, A, 3, 1, A, 1, 2, 3. One more time. All right, the second phrase of the A part is gonna start again with your second finger on the D, and it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2, A, 3, 1, A, 2, D, 1, D. All right, we are on to the third phrase of the A part, which is going to go like this. Starting with your second finger on the D string, it'll sound very familiar. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the exact same phrase as the first phrase of the A part. Those finger numbers again are going to be 2, A, 3, 1, A, 1, 2, 3. One more time. And the last phrase of the A part, finally we're starting on a different finger. We're going to start with your first finger on the E string, and it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 3, low 2, 1, and then E, 3, 2, 3. And just like that, we have learned the whole entire A part. So let's give it a shot all the way through. We're going to string all those phrases together. It's going to start with that second finger on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, moving briskly forward, let's go on to the second half of the tune, the B part. The first phrase of the B part starts with your first finger on the E string, and it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1, 3, 1, 3, E, 1, low 2, 4, low 2, E. One more time. The next phrase is going to start with your first finger on the E string again, and it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 3, 1, 3, E, 1, E, 2, A. The next phrase of the B part is exactly the same as the first phrase of the B part, so that's nice. And that's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those finger numbers again are 1, 3, 1, 3, E, 1, low 2, 4, low 2, E. And the end of the B part will also sound a little bit familiar. It starts with your first finger on the E string, and it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exact same as the end of the A part. That's 1, 3, low 2, 1, E, 3, 2, 3. Okay, so we have played the entire B part. Let's string those phrases together and we'll have ourselves a tune. Starting with that first finger on the E string, it'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is it. That is Off She Goes. You have learned the tune. Congratulations. Let's try playing all the way through the tune. I will grab my metronome. One moment, please. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. If you'd like to try playing that full speed, you can go back to the beginning of the video and play it along with me. All right, but do not change that dial because we're going to learn some variations on this tune and they're kind of fun if I do say so myself. We are going to add some double stops to the tune. We are going to add a melodic variation. We're going to add another melodic variation, and we're going to add a roll. And rolls are kind of these fun ornaments that if you haven't tried them out, today might be the day. Starting off with the first phrase of the tune, we're going to add some double stops, and this is what it's going to sound like. So let's break that down and figure out what's happening. First of all, we're going to leave our second finger on the D string after we play that first note. And then when we go on to the open A, we're just gonna let the bow play both strings at once, both that second finger on the D and the A. So it's going. And this is where you wanna make sure your second finger isn't accidentally hitting the A string, because that'll sound a little bit not good. Then we do basically the same thing starting with your third finger. So the third finger plays its note on the D string, and we keep it there as we go to the first finger on the A string and play those two together. So it'll sound like this. Putting those two together, we're going. And then in the next part, we are going to play just one string, so that's nice, until we get to this third finger. And then we are going to play a double stop with that third finger and the open D, which is an octave double stop. Octave double stops can be a little unforgiving. If it's a little flat or a little sharp, it's unpleasant. So this is also a good chance to double check your intonation, make sure your fingers are landing in the right spot. So here's how that whole phrase will sound one more time. Moving on to the next phrase, this is where a little melodic variation, a little flight of fancy is going to come into play. What we're doing here is we are taking a part of the tune where we have some longer notes, and we are kind of dancing around those notes with some eighth notes. So we are going to change into, so it's 2, 3, A. And then the next part that would just go, we're actually gonna start out up on the A string and we're gonna go 1, 3, 1. So it goes 2, 3, A. 1, 3, 1, and then just the normal tune. So here that phrase is one more time. And that's a fun kind of variation to do, taking a part of the tune where there are longer notes and deciding on some eighth notes you could throw in there. So it gets a little busier, and then you get to figure out, okay, how do I want to kind of dance around the melody with those eighth notes? And those are all the variations for the A part. So the rest of it's just gonna be completely normal. So let's try that whole A part nice and slow with those variations, and I'll call them out as we go along. So starting out with the double stops. 1, 2, 3, double stops. Melodic variation. on to the B part, we are going to dive right in with another melodic variation and a roll. So this is what that is going to sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the melodic variation is sort of a string crossing variation. The melody would be going right here, but instead we're going to go. So it starts with that first finger on the E, then we play 2 A's for the next 2 notes in that set of 3, and then we go to your third finger on the E and 2 more A's. So, and here's where the roll is going to come in, and this is what a roll sounds like. A roll is a 5-note ornament, so you're taking the principal note, which here is your second finger, your low second finger on the E string, and you're going to play that note, the note above, the note again, the note below, and back to the principal note, all in one bow. 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. The timing I use for rolls is usually just holding on to that first note for a little longer than the rest of the notes, and then smooshing the rest of the notes at the end. Different people play rolls different ways. That's the way I generally have done it. So it's gonna go roll, and then E string, and that is the whole phrase. So let's try pulling that all together. Starting with the melodic variation, it goes roll, and the rest of the B part is just the same as the normal melody. So here's that B part variation. Let's play it in the context of the whole B part of the tune. It's gonna go like this. 1, 2, melodic variation. Roll, and then just normal. That is the whole entire variation. So fancy. Let's go ahead and try playing it with the metronome. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you'd like to try playing that up to speed, you can go back to the beginning of the video and play it along with me. All right, fiddlers, that does it for today's fiddle lesson video. I hope you liked this tune. I sure liked it. If you would like sheet music and practice tracks for this tune and the variation we learned, as well as a harmony and chord chart, all kinds of good stuff, you'll find a link in the description for that. You'll also find a link for a whole bunch of other fiddle tunes as well. Have a wonderful day, happy fiddling, and I'll see you soon.